question of Professor Kmiec related to domestic affairs. And Professor Kmiec, I've got this kind of designated here, domestic/cultural question. And I know it's one you've answered many times to many people and touched on it in your opening remarks, but I feel maybe it's important for you to look at this as crisply as possible for our audience. That is, that Barack Obama has called a woman's access to abortion on demand, including partial birth abortion, a, to use his phrase, quote, fundamental right. And it's part and parcel of his plans for what he calls reproductive justice. He's promised that as president, he will pass the Freedom of Choice Act, which enshrines into law absolute access to all abortions up to the moment of live delivery, and has even opposed infants born alive legislation in Illinois that would protect the life of an infant born breathing. With your Catholic faith and dedication, I'd like to ask that you clarify how you make that compatible with Barack Obama's position.
Well, I didn't think you'd ask. But since you did, I wrote a book on the subject, which of course is after the lecture. No, it's a very serious question. It's a serious question for people of many faiths, and it certainly is a serious question for someone of the Catholic faith. And I've examined it as carefully as I can. For 35 years, this country has been riven by this issue. Hundreds of thousands of people every January go out and march in the snow and confront the Supreme Court and demand that they overturn Roe v. Wade, and year after year, some Republican president says we're just one vote away, and they keep making appointments, and somehow those appointments never are the one vote. And one of the reasons they're not the one vote is because justices know there is a rule of law, and decisions once made become settled precedents, and people rely upon them. And as wrong as that decision may well have been, and I think it was, it has been with us for a good long time. So the first point I would make is that Senator McCain is not in any position to promise that if he gets vacancies on the Supreme Court that he's one vote away. Because he would be reading the minds of the existing justices, and I think he would be reading them incorrectly. Point number two is that even if Roe v. Wade was overruled, remember, if you are pro-life, that would not be a pro-life result. That would merely return the issue to the states. And in returning the issue to the states, you can bet that the states would make choices, in many cases, like California, I'm certain would make, in favor of abortion. So, Senator Obama approaches this question and asks this. If, in fact, you want to promote human life, and he does, how is it that it can be done without the finger of condemnation, without criminalizing the behavior, throwing women into jail or throwing doctors into jail or some combination thereof? And Senator Obama's answer is to come to this setting with an open hand of compassion rather than condemnation, recognizing what we know to be empirically true, that 70% of the abortions in this country confront women who are in very serious poverty, who are often alone, who have less than adequate shelter, who have less than adequate medical care. And so Senator Obama has convinced the Democratic Party to add to the Democratic platform a commitment for pre- and postnatal care, for funded maternity support and income support, and if the woman is in fact still unable, with that additional support, to accept the life of the child, to make it possible, without undue, cumbersome bureaucracy or expense, to pursue a caring adoption procedure. There's more than one way to be pro-life. Senator Obama has told me personally that his commitment is to discourage abortion but to discourage it in a way that honors and respects the only person, the only moral actor on this earth who can make the judgment, and that is the expectant mother.
Thank you very much. At this time, it's my turn to ask Professor Kaufman a question related to international relations.
I don't get a comment on
Oh,
it?
you do. You do.
Good. Because whatever Senator Obama says, and this is the problem with talk and action, Senator Obama also supports federal and state funding of abortion, and as several pieces of the Weekly Standard point out, whenever that is the case, the number of abortions go up significantly. But this gets to a larger point. John McCain is going to appoint judges like Justice Roberts, Justice Alito, and Justice Thomas, whom Doug Kmiec gave fulsome tribute when Justice Thomas came here. Conversely, Senator Obama, when asked about the Supreme Court, called Clarence Thomas unqualified, especially if the Democrats have a majority of 58 or 59 or 60 senators. It is almost inevitable that Senator Obama, by conviction or necessity or a combination of both, will choose judges that are substantially to the left and are not pro-life, who are judicial activists rather than judicial originalists. So on that issue of what type of Supreme Court justice you're going to get, John McCain has been consistent, and I think consistently right. He's pro-life, he believes in judicial restraint, and he will vote for justices who judge and not legislate from the bench.